De Vries in the white and black car on the left-hand side. In the blue, it's the dams of Sette Camera. 3, 4, 5 red lights in Belgium. And the feature race is underway with a lot of wheel spin from the front row and a good start for Louis Delatraz, who's up to third immediately, looking for the lead, can't find it. That was risky stuff down there. Sette Camera looking for the exit. Latifi's had contact in the middle of the corner. That's not what Sette Camera needed. The second place man is losing positions. Louis Delatraz has moved up from 5th to 2nd place, and can he take advantage of the slipstream? That's exactly what Nick De Vries needed as they go through Eau Rouge for the first time on lap number 1. Off the road there, Luca Giotto side by side with Nikita Mazepin. But that is what Nick De Vries needed. No challenges to turn number 1, unlike Mazepin and Giotto, who are racing side by side into the 5th turn from the Kemmel Straight to Lecombe. They're 3 wide, but crucially for Nick De Vries, he's held onto the lead. Nikita Mazepin hangs on to that position, and are they all going to get through turn number 5? Yes, they will, as they head to Malmedy, and it was very, very close, but Nick De Vries keeping the lead after Sergio Sette Camera going off at turn number 1.
It was amazing, De Vries. Rouge Radioni was completely flat and he opened the gap. Fantastic.
Well, puncture.
Oh. Nicholas Latifi, second in the championship, middle of the pack after a qualifying performance that wasn't his fault. Didn't have a chance to do a second run yesterday, but he got clipped at the start of the race. Now he's got a puncture, and the man he is trying to catch has got a dream getaway. Everything is working out right now for Nick De Vries in the lead of the race.
Yeah, he was very good at the start. De Vries and then Delatraz. That he saw the gap in the middle of the 2 cars in front of him, and he just took him. So Delatraz was fantastic in the getaway.
So Delatraz up to 2nd place from 5th on the grid. Great getaway for the Swiss driver on the podium on 2 occasions this year, but never on the top step. Can he change that? Can he try and take the fight to De Vries on a day where it might be about to look after your tyres? Sometimes that's the only hint of a weakness in Nick De Vries' his driving armoury, and it is an impressive armoury. There is Luca Giotto moving to the apex first, getting past Nikita Mazepin and staging his fight back. The driver that started 9th now up to 6th position as he cuts the beam, and we're on to lap number 2. De Vries, Delatraz, Aitken, Sette Camera, Matsushita, and then Giotto moving past Nikita Mazepin. Mick Schumacher in 8th position, losing a couple of places on that first lap as the Sauber Junior Team driver there of Juan Manuel Correa and Sean Galeo get very close. Now, what sort of commitment do they have through Eau Rouge? Actually, De Vries saying that Huon is a more interesting. Go on! Oh, there's a big crash there. There's a car who lost it. Car has lost it on the way in. Oh, no. Oh, that's a horrible accident. That is a horrible accident involving the Sauber Junior Team, and that is not what anyone wanted to see. A horrible smash at the top of the hill in Radion.
You saw it, he lost the rear on the right corner where you are almost flat out, and then he tried to control the oversteer, but he just spun.
So I think there's an Arden and a Sauber Junior Team car involved there. There's Giuliano Alesi at the top of the hill, another driver eliminated. And that was a huge accident at the top of the hill. It's easy flat in a Formula 2 car these days, but early on with the fuel, with cold tyres, Davide.
Not at the beginning of the race.
Yes.
You're right, it's easy flat in quali condition. No fuel, fresh tyres, new tyres, fantastic grip. But in this condition, at the beginning of the race, with a lot of fuel, with very low pressure in tyres to try to make them last, it's not easy. It's not easy flat.
So the red flag is out. Cars are back to the pit lane. Enormous accident at the top of the hill involving an Arden, and you can see Ralph Boschung caught up in that as well. And it is part of the racetrack where you need your car's full commitment. It is. We saw a big crash in Formula 1 a few years ago, didn't we, with Kevin Magnussen? And there's Nicholas Latifi lined up at the end of the pit lane with that puncture that he suffered at the start. We saw a big crash in GP2 back in 2015 with Daniel de Jong, who was off into the barrier at Blanchimont after contact with Pierre Gasly back in 2015. Medical car and Dr. Ian Roberts will be deployed to the racetrack. Giuliano Alesi on the back of the scooter.
Not a lucky day, to be honest. Not a lucky day, not a lucky race. I don't know, to be honest. I was thinking that the man that he lost the rear in, it was Alesi, so probably I was wrong. Because I saw one car that was completely sliding, trying to control the oversteering already on, and they were thinking it was Alesi, but I think I'm wrong.
Yeah, Lacey and Boschong, the only two drivers who started the race on the medium tyres. That all feels a little bit academic right now. The red flag out for a huge accident at Raidillon on the second lap of the race. The race has been suspended. Boschong is returning to the pits. There he was on those medium tyres. Medical car has been deployed to the top of the hill. We're not showing you those pictures right now until we make sure that everyone is okay, and we keep our fingers crossed that they are okay. So Latifi in the foreground there, and his championship rival Nick de Vries doing everything he needed to get off the line. So we can have a look at the pit lane now. So red flag conditions. Just keeping on the pictures in the pit lane at the moment. It was a good getaway for Nick de Vries, with problems further behind. But a red flag early on, with not much of the race run so far. Violent accident.
Yeah, to be honest, as soon as we saw the image where the car was losing the rear grip, yeah, we just felt this strange feeling, no, in the stomach.
You never want to see a car get loose there. And so Sato is out of the car. So Sato is okay, eliminated with that crash. Can confirm to you that it's Antoine Hubert and Juan Manuel Correa who were involved in the crash. And we saw Correa upside down. That was the car upside down that you would have seen in the Sauber Junior team car. And the Pink Garden was two-time race winner from this year, Antoine Hubert. Two rookie drivers. Really likeable chaps. Really engaging characters in the paddock. Fast guys competing last year in GP3. And what we can show you is the race start. We're not going to show you a replay until we know that the drivers at the top of the hill are okay. So let's review what happened at the race start. So watch for Latifi. He's going to get hit by Schumacher, and there was the cause of the puncture Davide.
Yeah, probably closed a bit too much the line, and they didn't realize that Schumacher was in. Here from Alesi, not easy to approach the first corner, where in front of you have this mess. He decided to stay a bit wide. You see it? Probably Latifi closed a bit too much the line, and he didn't realize that Schumacher was on the inside.
He's on board with Nicholas Latifi, who was not in 20th position at this moment. Pretty good start at this stage to get himself in the mix. There's the hit. And he knew straight away. You can see his teammate further up. And let's have a look at Sete camera. Yellow crash helmet, navy car, right-hand side of the screen.
Brake very deep, just to recover the second position, to regain the second position. But then, seems that he was probably, there was no space in the exit, and he decided to run wide. Was not a brilliant start for Camara, that he had too much wheel spin and he lost the momentum just at the beginning.
Yeah, really did. That is Dams knowing that what they really needed was him to tuck in. It's a great shot of the action down to turn one. So often see incidences down there at the first turn. But the big winner off the start line was Louis Delatraz. And there was the contact. The second place man in the championship, Nicholas Latifi of Canada, being hit by our most recent race winner until today, Mick Schumacher.
Also because Schumacher didn't miss at all at the first corner. I mean, did you saw him? Yeah. He was with the right tires on the curb, so I think that Latifi just turned in a bit too early.
So Luca Ghiotto out of the car. And he will be discussing along with his team that it was a good getaway for Luca Ghiotto, and he'd made an early impression.
Not easy also for the driver, right? That they were just behind the crash. I can imagine the driver
if you've seen it.
Yeah.
Streedy, if you're just joining us, we have a red flag and the race suspended after a big accident, very violent accident at the top of the hill after one car got loose at the top of the hill and there was a concertina effect. We had a car overturned at one of the scariest places in all of motor racing. And so we are holding back showing you any replays until we hear word that is positive from the medical team at the top of the hill.